What's up, guys? Matt Tozer here, Leads for Locals, and in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 steps to generating leads on LinkedIn, specifically how we do that as far as the messaging goes. So just a simple sequence that we use, which is completely automated. You can do this manually. It's probably going to be a lot of work, but we do have, so just so you know, like when I show you the like examples or whatever, everything is automated. We're doing like 2,000 of these a month, typically on complete autopilot, where we're sending out connection requests and all that. But I have had some questions about the type of messaging, and I think sometimes we just overcomplicate things. It doesn't have to be super complicated. The main thing you want to remember, and then we'll get into the 3 steps here, is that we're not pitching people right off the bat. Like, it's not what you do on LinkedIn. It doesn't work. It's super annoying. I don't even pay attention to messages like that. And you want to be doing everything you can to stand out, but also make it a real conversation, right? Like if you went to a networking event, think of LinkedIn as a big networking event. Would you just start going up to people, like say, hey, this is what I do. Here's my card. Give me a call, without like engaging people in any type of conversation? You wouldn't. And if you did, you probably don't get much success with it. So it's really no different on LinkedIn. So basically what we want to do here, to keep it in the simplest form, is we're sending out the connection request, okay? And basically all we're doing in the connection request, it also, part of it is because, 1, you're very limited, but 2, it's kind of to create the interaction. Basically what's been working for us, and it's pretty standard, I think, in most LinkedIn messaging campaigns, is, hey, first name, saw you were in the same industry and wanted to connect. And I'll show you, more of an example here in a moment, but that's pretty much it, right? So this is very niche specific as well. The connection request, like what is it? The personalized note, I think it is, that the invitation note, when you're sending an initial connection request, you're limited on the amount of characters that you have, but you don't want to overdo it in that anyways. So, but this works so much better if you pick a niche, right? As opposed to, hey, I saw you were also a business owner, so I wanted to connect. I mean, you can do that, but your messaging, and you'll hear me talking about this in all of my other videos, your messaging, especially on LinkedIn. Sorry, I'm at a Jason Capital event, so sorry if it's a little distracting, but stay with me. Your results are always going to be so much better when you say that, oh, hey, I saw that you were also in my industry, right? People are going to be, at least based on my experience, people are much more open to actually connecting with you if they see that you're in the same industry, right? Let's see. Next is lead magnet offer plus question. So I've had, I've watched and learned like different things on this specific topic. Like, I know people that go straight for the appointment. I know people who say offering value or lead magnet is a terrible thing to do. And honestly, it really boils down to you got to test things, right? And so far, this is working pretty good. And what we're doing is we're combining the lead magnet that we have, which in this particular industry that I'm talking about, that I'll show you, is for business loans. This can be used for any industry, though. The annuity business as well, which, I mean, if you've been following me for a while, we're in the annuity industry generating leads for that as well. But basically, it makes it just so when we're offering the lead magnet, that means we're not going for a sale. We're not going for a phone call. I don't know about you guys, but when I get messages on LinkedIn and people are just like, hey, and I accept their connection request, people are like, hey, I do so-and-so, or great to connect, whatever. When do you have 15 minutes so that we can chat? And I'm like, dude, I don't even know who the heck you are. I don't know what you do. I don't even know how you found me, whatever. And already you want to take 15 minutes of my time. Like that's just, it doesn't work very well. So we like to offer a lead magnet in the first message. So this is after somebody accepts our connection request, and this is all automated. Again, we have an automated system that does this. It's awesome. But we're basically saying, hey, saw that, or thank you so much for connecting, for my connections in this particular, in your industry. I've got some really good feedback on this piece of content I made. It's called blah, blah, blah. Let me know if you'd like if you think that would benefit you, let me know if you'd like to send it. And that's important, because what we were doing is we were putting the link to that in the message and not even waiting for people to respond for it. I don't like that. We didn't get a too great of a response on it, and it just the problem is it looks spammy. So when people accept your connection request and then all of a sudden they have a message from you with text and then a link and all that, it looks very spammy. So we do not put the link to the content, the lead magnet, unless they respond and request it, and people do. Depending on what industry it is. The annuity business that I'm doing right now, that has a much more, I'm seeing a much higher request for the lead magnet itself. In the business loan niche, it's a little different because you either need a business loan or you don't, right? It's not really something you want, right? We are getting people that are requesting the lead magnet. I'm not saying that doesn't work. But the main point of the lead magnet in this particular situation is giving us just a softer reason to follow up after the connection request has been accepted. Hope that makes sense. So far, it's working really well. But we also add a question as well because to engage to initiate the conversation, right? And honestly, I don't remember exactly what the question is. I'll show it to you in a minute. But then the third step, and there are more steps that we do, but like more follow-up messages. But basically, every follow-up after the lead magnet one, the step 2, is all based on following up about the lead magnet. Like, hey, did you want me to send I don't know if you saw my message above. So this is like our third message, sometimes fourth. Is hey, so-and-so, I don't know if you saw my message above. I know it gets busy sometimes. Did you want me to send you the guide that I mentioned above? Message me back, let me know. Either way, would love to learn more about what you do, what you're working on, to see if I can help, blah, 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 right? So, don't copy this messaging that I'll show you verbatim. Customize it to your business, your personality, your brand. But this format is working pretty well for us. So I am going to head over to LinkedIn now just to give you some examples. Now, these are just a few of the messages that I've archived. There have been quite a few more. So we're generating a decent amount of business loan leads on LinkedIn right now for this particular case. Doing pretty well in other industries too. But this one is specifically for business loans, and I archived just a few. Like I said, there's plenty. We've sent out close to 3,000 over the past month and a half ish. So we've gotten a lot of connection requests accepted. We're generating some really good conversations, and I just want to give you guys an example of what this conversation can look like. So we scroll up, and there's the initial connection request. This person responded immediately, so we didn't even get a chance to offer the free lead magnet, which is fine. That if they respond saying, hey, I'm interested in what you do, obviously, get the sale, get the client. So, we've got people that, not everyone, there's plenty of these messages where they're like, no, I'm not interested, or already have funding or whatever. But, I just wanted to show you the responses that we're getting. This is actually an old one. What we were doing too in our follow-up is if they were not responding at all, like 4 or 5 messages later, we would just put the link in. Actually, I think we are still doing that, like our last message. Like if they haven't responded at all, obviously you don't want to keep following up on LinkedIn because that could actually negatively impact your profile. If you're just hammering people, then they could report your profile or block you or whatever, and that just does not look good. So, we cap it at like 5 messages, but on the 5th message, we will put a link to the calendar. Because at that point, you might as well, right? So maybe on the 5th message, they'll see it and they'll finally be like, okay, let me reach out to this person. That's what happened here. We were sending message after message, and actually, this was an older one. We're doing this now on the 4th or 5th message. This one is the 3rd, but we're not doing that anymore. Like I said, I don't like putting the link in the follow-up messages unless it's like the last one I'm doing. Okay, but good responses. We've had some that, we had a guy that he was just awarded a $284,000 contract for his construction business that needed funding. We've got guys doing huge apartment complexes that need capital. So these are good leads. Not all of them are qualified. We had one that needed I think it was like a $50,000 loan. Unfortunately, didn't qualify. But the point is, we're generating really high quality conversations. And it seems, just based on the experience so far, these are much higher quality leads than we were doing on Facebook. Not saying Facebook doesn't work. We are still doing Facebook ads, but the problem with Facebook, at least initially, the way we were doing it, is the quality just wasn't there. A lot of people weren't qualified for the loan. On LinkedIn, using Sales Navigator, we can get super highly targeted on our audience so that we make sure we're getting in front of our ideal prospect. Now, we are going to be taking this a step further, where we're going to be running Facebook and using AdRoll, like Google Ads, to retarget all of these LinkedIn connections, which is going to be super powerful, right? But I wanted to show you guys the messaging sequence to give you an idea of kind of the framework for that. So just to recap, basically you're sending out the personalized connection request, the invitation note. You are creating a lead magnet, but then also asking a question to engage, to get the conversation going. And from there, you're following up regarding that lead magnet that you mentioned earlier, because it gives you like a softer approach for following, gives you a reason to follow up, and as opposed to just like, hey, do you want to book a call? Do you want to book a call? Do you want to book a call? It's so, just don't do that. It's so annoying, and it doesn't work very well, at least in my experience. I know guys who do it well. I'm sure there's probably more to it than maybe they lead on or that they show, but this is what's been working very well so far in a couple of different industries that I'm testing. So highly recommend following a framework like this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, let me show you the type of lead magnet. And this could be anything, guys. Like, I mean, you guys know I'm a huge proponent of ClickFunnels. I absolutely love ClickFunnels. I do just any web page I ever make, I always put it in ClickFunnels, right? But basically what we did here is we just have a lending guide, right? The specific to that industry. And actually, this is the more general one. But basically, we have, I just put together a guide, like on the top 5 loan options for construction owners or restaurant owners or whatever. We have another one where it's the ultimate lending guide for auto repair shops or whatever. And that it keeps it specific to the industry. And it's just a good piece of content. And then at the end of the piece of content, we have a button that that says, click here to see how much funding your business could get, right? So we do that in ClickFunnels. This is what it could look like. We have a couple of different variations, but that would be it. So we just scroll down, and it just, it's simple, looks cool. And then they click the button, takes them to a pre-qualification survey, and then the appointment calendar, like we've done in the past with our Facebook ads, and it works well. So one other point about the lead magnet is it's really good to put like a lead magnet inside your LinkedIn profile at the bottom that they can click. I've generated a decent amount of leads this way, actually. So do not underestimate the power of your LinkedIn profile. Okay, and use, if you want, I have other videos on this, but use my profile as inspiration. You want to be very niche specific with your profile. But when you start using this LinkedIn messaging sequence, people are going to look at your profile. Not everybody's going to respond, but I can't tell you how many people I've had click on the link in my profile and they go to a lead magnet like this, click the button, and then they become a much higher intent, higher quality lead, and book the appointment, right? So it works really well. So your lead magnet is also something really good to have inside of your profile. So that's it, guys. 3 steps, kind of the framework for LinkedIn messaging that we're using right now. Works really well. If this was helpful, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below. If you have any questions, I'll have some links where you can book an appointment. If you're more interested in setting up something like this in your business, don't get caught up on like just the business loans, right? We're doing this for my own business, annuities. I mean, any type of B2B business, this can work really well. So, regardless of what industry you're in, if this is something that, if you want an automated system for LinkedIn to do this on complete autopilot for you, and then, run the ads later, all that good stuff, click the button or the link below. I'll have a link to either get more information or book an appointment, and we'll go from there. Okay. Make sure you subscribe too, because we're always coming out with some awesome stuff. So would appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss anything, and talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.